Once again, God don't shoot dice. It's all integrated in the experience. It's exactly how it's supposed to be. The grander stories, the hero's journey, all of the tales that we've been able to tap into, the lessons and realizations, things that we marvel at, they've all been integrated into the trip to Walmart, the purchase of a new home, the birth of a child, the PTA meeting you have to go to, being late to pick up your children, putting a little bit of money on the bill just so they leave you alone for a little while. All of these things on a very energetic level are the same spiritual embodiments or catalysts for us to embody that which is the truth of ourselves. The familiarity with those experiences feels too regular to be spiritual or divine or divinely guided. This feels too regular for magic, for divination and the deep things that we admire when it comes to our sense of presence. It just feels too regular for that. And there's the arrogance of the ego. We're not here to bash the ego, but come on, there's a level of arrogance of a situation or circumstance. There's a sense of complacency because of we feel as if there's a superficial layer to our lives that has nothing to do with us healing, our expansion in consciousness, us shifting and evolving to a new dimensional framework. We feel that it's just too regular for that. It ain't grand enough. And in truth, this is clearly an area in consciousness. There's nothing that is not divine. There's nothing that is outside of infinite intelligence. That's outside of divine orchestration. It's all a journey that's selected and created by you on a level that's beyond comprehension. Who you are as the creator is eternal, and you observe the activity. That's who you are, beyond all projection. Unconditional love incarnate. We recognize and we can observe thought patterns, observe the emotional body and its functions, its fluctuations, from a place of more objectivity. Once a distorted idea creeps in, it just kind of creeps in because that's just the nature of the radio station. You're going to receive different frequencies. When stuff like this happens, when we're truly aware of ourselves and present, it's easier for us to dispel those ideas without investing a bunch of energy in them. Because that's what the distortions come in. When these ideas come in and we start to entertain them, and a lot of times the ideas can be so outrageous that it shocks us, and that shock drives us to feed the idea more and pick at it. And sometimes the ideas stimulate emotions or things that we don't like. We see ugly pictures, or you're sitting there talking to somebody and just a weird idea of something like an extreme judgment or something outlandish that would truly be uncomfortable to say kind of pops in your head. You can look at it and observe it and allow it to keep flowing without holding on to it like, oh man, what if I said that, and what would happen, this, and then you kind of go down this line of reactions because of the shocking nature of that thought form. But once again, from presence, from observation, we have the ability to observe it and allow it to go about its way without entertaining it. Maturity. We recognize that it's our choice. We're conscious of our conscious presence. We recognize the different layers of our being from an even deeper layer. The responsibility of all these layers, the distortions, all the programs and stuff that's being expressed from people around us, and the TV, and past traumas and lifetimes of experience that we have to transmute, or we're responsible for transmuting because we've selected gifts to embody for this lifetime. And all this functionality, all of these things taking place, having us responsible to manage them because we're here feeling. Earth being the most difficult planet to incarnate on in the universe, because it being the most emotionally intense planet to incarnate on and evolve as a conscious being in the physical. It's the most emotionally intense. So our ability to handle and balance and transmute and heal and function are of great interest to many. One of the more heavier burdens in this is the mental activity that feels all of this doubt. I'm supposed to be doing something, or I should be this place. We have all these expectations, or the ego does. We're going to ask you to put that down. Put it down. Give yourself a break. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea the level of impact you're having right now. We're so amped up on wanting to see liberation after all of this stuff and feeling the intensity of anticipation of things being on the cusp of change that there's a certain level of impatience. And this is where we can miss out on the gift of now, the beauty of being amongst this fourth dimensional transition, being in this space, being on the cusp, actually unfolding the catalyst of healing that we waited so long to end or to reconcile. Relax, ease up. The only job of the light is to shine. Once again, the mind creates an infinite amount of prerequisites on that which happens naturally. Through our internal focus on radiating our energy, accepting ourselves, feeling, recognizing the vibration, through focus, we connect with the true essence of who we are as source energy beings. And as we dive deep within ourselves and cultivate and recognize and flourish that amount of shine, we activate our surroundings. When you're not sitting here in the heart space and like truly being present, there's endless questions. For the most part, it's doubt. Just attempting to gather material. It's an overcompensation for just doing the work. We're trying to make sure we're doing it right before we act. Being afraid to fail is to not act. You're choosing to fail by choosing fear. To accept, not overanalyze our own sense of presence to the point where we don't do anything because we want to make sure we do it right. It's the act of doing so. And in actuality, we're looking for a logical explanation to something that's beyond logical. Love is beyond logic, beloved. We want to be secure. We want to understand it. We want to hear it articulated and know the functions of it so we can feel comfortable with it. It don't work like that. You just got to do it. That vulnerability is the foundation of fearlessness, of strength, of courage. It requires a leader to take on that level of responsibility. As we take on that level of responsibility and take accountability through honesty, through transparency, we gather the data to embrace the compassion and empathy necessary to make the changes, to set a new standard, to set a new level of self-acceptance, a more healthier way of going about living. Because of your ability to take personal responsibility of the things that you've gathered in order to protect yourself from the things that you fear. And as we do it, come on, it's natural. We shine different, we smile different, the vibe feels different. It feels more loving. People want to be around that energy. People feel comfortable around that energy. People trust that energy. You got a different fragrance about you when you do this type of work. Again, the honor is in the responsibility, where you shine with the air of dignity and honor like true royalty. You recognize that this is your creation. You are the source of the experience. You are the creator. Just because you don't see it don't mean it's not happening, baby. It's happening. Gentle, graceful, natural changes unfolding before you right now. It doesn't stop. Every day this energy gets higher and higher and higher. No matter what, each and every day, your manifestation abilities are becoming stronger. Awareness is everything. Over the ages, humanity's had this perception of spiritual mastery as this activity of not feeling. Retreating into like monasteries and temples and churches and going out to be in the wilderness alone and not have to deal with folks. Not have to be around people. In essence, it's like kind of like hiding from the world. Hiding from the world. And in actuality, we're alive to feel. We're here on earth incarnate in bodies to feel all of it. We're here to feel the embarrassment, the awkward conversations, the social anxiety, the doubt, the fear, the news, the programming, the club, all the stuff. We're here to feel. We're alive to feel and observe and recognize all of it. Feel all of it and then consciously choose the frequency in which you prefer. And there's a tendency for more sensitive souls such as empaths try to go and get away from everybody. Oh, this is just too much. I'm sensitive. I don't want to feel. And y'all energy is low. I have to get away from y'all. And it's expressed as this frailty. Walking around saging everything and not inviting people in your house because you feel like they're going to damage the energy in your environment and so on. That's frail. That's not what we're here to do. Now, there is a portion of our journey that involves us going within ourselves and grounding our energy, cultivating our sense of presence so we can coexist around other individuals who may be radiating very dense energies and pictures and kind of toxic behavior, if you will, like to establish a strong foundation for our own sense of being. But once again, doctors don't go to medical school to graduate just to hang out with other doctors. They go there to learn how to be around the ill, to assist those who are sick. That's what they go to medical school for. They go there to learn how to assist the sick. When they graduate, they are around people who are sick for a living. They're there for them, to help, to integrate, to share the information, to share the vibration, to share the frequency, to share the healing. Not to run, to coexist around all of that dense energy and all that dark and still be able to choose. How you feel now is responsible for what happens next. And you have the ability to choose. That is how you create your reality. Masters only get doper when they're in the environment where they're constantly being faced with the catalyst to choose how to feel constantly. That's where leaders are trained. So yes, we're going to be in the middle of cities. We're going to be in environments of density where lots and lots and lots of people around us express distortions and projection. We're going to be in that space. We're being groomed to sustain that frequency of being.